fake it till you make it. That is possibly the worst advice you could get as a leader.
Welcome to the Unleashed Learning Podcast, the show helping you lead learning in the era of overwhelm. My name is Dr. William DeJean. I'm the founder of Unleashed Learning and also the host of the podcast. And today we've got a special four-part series focusing on early career leaders and how to thrive in the era of overwhelm. So if you're in the first 5 years of the profession as a new leader, this series is for you. Now I'm joined by my colleague, Steven Trotter. He's an author, former school principal, and today he helps educational leaders and school leadership teams turn complexity into clarity and improvement into impact. Today's episode, number 1, is what all new early career leaders need to know. Here we go. Okay, Steven, so welcome to episode 1 in this special series, really focusing on how early career leaders can thrive in the era of overwhelm. We're specifically talking to those leaders the first 5 years in our profession. They're stepping into leadership. So, Stephen, I know for a lot of early career leaders, it's very overwhelming, that step that they're taking and the courage it takes to take that. So, what do you think all early career leaders need to know in those first 5 years?
Yeah, and it's a great question and you mentioned the word thriving in those first 5 years, and we want to move away from just surviving. And when we're talking about the early career leaders, I like to think of them as the engine room of improvement. They are the absolute pivotal part if we want to have the greatest impact in our learning environment. So I call it the stretch when you step into that space of leadership, because often they're our most capable teachers that either put their hands up or get tapped on the shoulder to start taking on more leadership roles. And they start to get into this space that, like I said, I refer to the stretch. And if we think of the stretch as a rubber band, they're built to stretch, and they constrict and they can go back to shape. But when you step into these space, you're sitting at the table of your senior leadership team, often talking about operational, bigger picture thinking, implementation strategies, but you're also still in the space of your peers and colleagues. And so you can find this really weird dynamic where you're not quite sure where you fit at times, but we also know what happens when a rubber band gets stretched too far and we get that snap. And that's what we need to try and avoid. And what we need to do in order to avoid that is have really intentional, planned, strategic learning that's not reactive, but we're proactive and thinking about what is it that I need to be successful in the future.
So really that piece of, I think that if you're listening to this as an early career leader, that idea of that rubber band, I think people are going to hear that. And what we don't want for you is it snapping.
Yeah,
And also what I did here is what powerful influence that they bring to the profession because they have new ideas, new energy, new ways of seeing things, and being
absolutely.
proactive. So, it's almost like makes me think, get support before you need the support.
Yeah, yeah.
Reach out before.
And look, I know when I stepped into leadership, it was sort of like this unwritten, and you hear people say it, fake it till you make it. That is possibly the worst advice you could get as a leader, because we want authentic leadership. We want people to feel vulnerable, and be willing to be transparent and open around the fact that we're all learning. I'm still learning as a leader.
Me too.
So this idea of faking it till you make it doesn't actually work. So instead, we have to be real, authentic, genuine, and do the right learning, seek the right advice and right support in order to make sure we're thriving, not just surviving.
And with your peers, people that are going through the same thing that you're going through too, so it's like, oh, I'm not alone. So hopefully this series we're doing that if they're hearing, I'm not alone. That's why we're doing it quick and to the point. So you're not alone.
Not at all. Not at all.
Just one thought too before I know it's short, but if you're listening to this, I was thinking about that stretch that, when you're stretched, when you're in a new environment, you stretch. And a lot of early career leaders will tell me secretly that they feel like frauds. They'll
Yeah.
say, so that we call it a shadow belief. So the shadow belief is where you're under stress and all the things you're afraid people are to find out about you emerge in your brain. Like I'm a bad teacher, I'm a bad leader, and all that stuff's emerged. So that's very, very normal. And it usually means you're growing. So don't
Yes.
internalize it. It means you're growing. So when it shows up, just say to it, hey, thanks for being here. It means I'm growing, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
okay, well, we're going to come back and we're
Yeah.
gonna we're going to really talk about what the era of overwhelm means for early career leaders, but we want people to kind of digest this. Also, we're going to invite people forward this to another early career leader so they don't feel alone. So those people in their first 5 years of the profession, send it their way so they go, oh, me too. And then we'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah, looking forward to it, William.
Sounds good. I hope you got a few things, few tips for the first episode, what all new early career leaders need to know. We invite you to forward it to somebody, an early career leader who it might support. And also, while you're there, grab the free ebook if this helps you as an early career leader. The 6 roadblocks that block good teaching from becoming great teaching across your school. That's a great ebook to have as an early career leader. We'll see you in the very next episode.